Welcome to the Hot Rod Hangout Podcast.
Whoop whoop.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Ashley.
And tonight we have a special guest. We got to sit down with Caitlin and Hunter Johnson. You may have heard Caitlin's name before. She shoots for Trendsetter and now doing her own thing with Blacktop Collective. With a special guest, their little mini chicken made a couple appearances in the episode. This was recorded in a different fashion, and obviously it still needs some work, but here's the episode.
The chicken has been completely silent this whole time, and now it's here. It's here. So Caitlin came and took photos for the Hangout 2026. Is it your name? Does he just not like me saying your name? I don't know. So what originally got you into cars?
I'm gonna have to go fight the chicken. I'm sorry. He has made no noise, and you have been here going on, 2 hours? Mike! Anyway, maybe he's done now. We shall see. No, I started in more performance-oriented. You little... Anyway, I started in much more performance-oriented. The first thing that I ever actually owned myself was a Caliber SRT4.
Okay.
And I got drugged so hard over that car. Like, everybody was like, oh, they're slow, they're crappy, they're this, they're that. I had so much fun in that thing. I could fit everybody in it, and I could go fast. And it was phenomenal. I loved it. And then I realized I couldn't afford speeding tickets.
No.
And at that point, we started slowing it down a little bit. And I shifted from there. Had some older F-Series trucks. Nothing special. Just they tended to be like some of the weird fancy trim levels that came out from aftermarket companies that would grab the trucks and roll them out. Like I had a Choo Choo Customs F-Series pickup at one point, stuff like that. Nothing fancy, but they were clean. They were nice. And then I found mini trucks. And I got my hands...
She's a mini trucker, guys.
Well, I had a Cobalt SS, and I hydrolocked the car. We pulled the head, cleared out the cylinders, everything was good. But I was like, I don't want to deal with this again because the intake was behind the fog light. It was just going to keep happening unless I kind of restructured the entire intake system to move it somewhere other than behind the fog light. And a guy hit me up out of like Chattanooga when I posted it for trade. Single cab 96 S10, bagged, bodied, 4 switches, just little old beat around thing. Went and traded with him. Quickly learned how many things can go wrong in a mini truck. Found out one night the bed wasn't bolted on because I hit a pothole and knocked the whole thing off. The entire bed off the truck. Just going down the road. Had a field day with it. Ended up finding yet another pothole because goodness forbid we take care of the roads around here, I guess. That's just not really a thing we're going to do. Blew both front bags simultaneously. Traded it to somebody who had something running and driving and shifted away for a little while. And then I ended up getting another build from Psycho, actually. The Navigator F-150 thing that he had in his backyard for forever. Grabbed that from him. Had it for a little while. Got in a nasty car accident. Got rid of everything because I couldn't work. Couldn't pay bills. And now we're back. I've pulled out 2 complete trucks in the last 4 years. Going on a 3rd now. One's been sold off. Peachy is my daughter's now, and now we have the 4-door slowly starting to get down to business. Meanwhile, poor Hunter has just been trying to finish just one for the last 8 years. It doesn't work out. Every time I get going on something, we catch deadlines, and then
Deadlines will kill you. I do know that on the Cadillac. Anyone that's been paying attention didn't make it to our show. I forced it to Custom Culture, and it didn't want to run, and then all of a sudden it wanted to fire itself up and drive itself on a trailer.
Yeah, you were pretty upset about that, weren't you?
I was. Because it would have been way cooler to fire up an open header LS to get air than borrow air from Matt Smith and the dually.
That is valid.
But he does have an engine driven, so it was technically still filled by an engine driven compressor. It just wasn't mine.
I do want an engine driven on the 4-door. I've been keeping an eye out for that. I don't really want to run onboard or off-board compressors. I really want to run.
I have one. I think Psycho's got a couple. What motor's in that?
That is getting a 305.
Oh, okay, so small block.
Yeah, that one is
you
just
should be able to find
small block 700R, as simple and mechanical and basic as we can keep it.
You should be able to find one for that because of the off-road guys. I mean, that's...
Even with that, like the service trucks, the 25 and 3500 series pickups.
Yeah, anything with a small block in it. Because that was the hardest thing for me with the LS was trying to find one. I think Little Shop makes one on the passenger side. And I'm like, well, I don't have an AC compressor over here anymore, so really it needs to be over there. But Little Shop's trying to keep your AC.
Yeah.
Where we're going, we don't need no AC. Well, electric at Joker eventually, but...
Yeah, I'm probably just going to end up doing vintage air or something of that nature if I do anything, because, I mean, realistically, it's going to be on the trailer a lot. There's just no way around it with the caliber of what we're throwing into this. I don't want it on the road any more than it really has to be. Like, and I'm normally absolutely like drive your shit, but when you build like your piece de resistance, when you get your build that is just it for you, it gets a little different.
Well, and I mean, we were talking a little bit before. I mean, you got some tow pigs out here. You can build something cool to tow it with.
Yeah, we've been going back and forth about that. We've actually been talking about just getting rid of the new model Ford and getting one of these together, probably the 4-door that's already got the Dream Beams and everything on it. And we kind of kicked around the idea of doing, a paint to match Holland setup for it, something of that nature.
Yeah, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be as aggressive as the build, just something cool to the package.
Yeah, because I mean, it's already lowered. It's got the gooseneck in it, and body's straight. I mean, definitely needs some stuff, but it currently resides in the graveyard of F-250s and 7.3 Power Stroke. So if there's anywhere for it to be resurrected, it's here.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you said that this is the piece de resistance. So is this the dream build?
It didn't start that way.
Okay.
But the more things have evolved and things have changed and I've kind of influenced, because I've always been much more a full size. Like, realistically, Peachy was it for me. Single cab, short wheelbase, OBS was my thing. But then Addie got into it, and it was like,
but girls can't keep what they want and on track. They have to change it every 5 minutes.
Well, I wanted to be back on air. We initially toyed with just putting Peachy back on air and going through all that, but we'd already done a bunch of work to get Peachy back static securely, because everything had been gutted out from underneath the truck, so it was back static, had a new notch in it, everything. And at that point, that was when it was like, well, we can hand Addie this one. She's got something cool to take out, especially with her also shooting for Trendsetter and being at just about every show we go to with us. She represents a part of a media outlet, so let's give her something cool to roll. Like, this is her first year getting to register the truck for Battle in Bama in her own name. So she's all grown up now and is all registered all by herself. She had nothing to do with it. I did everything for her. But regardless, it's in her name, and that's what matters,
Well, I mean, that was when we registered the 54. I'd always register it in Ashley's name, even though it's technically our car. I'm like, no, it's your car. I don't like that car. I'm building a Cadillac, or I'm building a Model A. It was always that. And the first time she got called, it was 2 turkey rod runs ago at the Rod Show. And Hannah Wheat with Corey and Hannah Wheat, she won something, and we're like, hey, you won a trophy? And she's like, I don't win nothing. And then they said Ashley's name, and I heard Ashley, and I was like, nah, I couldn't. They're not giving her a trophy. And it's like 54 Chevy, and I'm like, yeah, there's a few of those here. Orange Rust, and I went, nope, that's what I wrote. I'm like, well, go get your trophy. And she's like, I didn't win nothing. So now they're both up there arguing with the guy with the paper saying, oh, we didn't win nothing. And then he's like, no, is this you? Yep, that's me. Is that you? Yep. Here's your trophies. And it was funny because that was the one trophy that I said that was the only trophy I wanted to win, was because it was their CNC cut bad apples. And the year prior, they were American flag. The year she won, it's a rotten apple, so it glows green in black light. And I'm like, they definitely have the trophy game on lock. Skateboard, we did skateboards for our show. Battle does skateboards. Everybody does skateboards now, but the little plastic trophies, I don't really care to.
No.
It's like, the moonshine jugs, or give me something cool that I can represent. I can look over there and go, okay, that was from so-and-so. Not, well, I'll have to read the plaque to see that I won, participation trophy at the 22nd annual Geezer Classic or whatever. It's like
Geezer Classic.
Participation trophies have gotten out of hand. You go to some of these shows and there's 50 cars there, or you got 50 cars and you got a top 50, and you're like, yay, I won it. You're like,
By default.
like, no, there's still 4 of them over there because they had 4 less cars than
they were planning for.
Yeah. But when we go places, I don't really necessarily want to win a trophy. I mean, it's cool to get recognized. But I'd rather have somebody just come up, or a kid come up and be like, man, that's dope. Or, that's cool. I registered the Cadillac for Custom Culture knowing I couldn't win anything. I was giving out a trophy, but I still registered it. And the kid was like, oh, that roof's cool. I picked him up. Here, look at it. I think it's cool too. I've been staring at it all day. And
I think that is my one regret with Peachy, is that we did this crazy, insane South Florida mural on the roof with the truck, and there's like 4 people in South Georgia, period, that are tall enough to even know that it's up there.
But she could after she's had it for a little while, she could eventually put it on air, and then everybody could see it.
Yes, but not until she learns how to avoid curbs.
Well, that was what I was saying.
Because that was rough. That was rough.
Well, that's not an age thing, though.
And it's not even a me thing, but my mother.
But I'm saying it's not even an age thing.
It jumped a generation.
There's still a few of us. I'm not going to mention any names, but he's a mutual friend that just took out a curb. So,
oh no, he did not take out a curb. Oh my gosh! I think I actually have photos of that.
Oh my gosh, I have a visual of when it like after it happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had photos of like that instant and his facial expression when he realized.
And if you don't have pictures, now you can't get pictures because it's all back.
Well, I mean, I don't have pictures of the side of the car, but I do have pictures of the facial expression at the moment that he realized he was not on a flat surface anymore. It was something. I'll give you that.
So what made you go into the photography side?
Honestly, it was an accident. I mean, Hunter had the camera laying around for God knows how long, and he would, help people out with little things every once in a while, but he never really cared too much for it. And I started tinkering because I got bored and it was there. And every once in a while, you just get the urge to do something different. And so I brought it with me to Battle in Bama in 24. Was that the first year at Talladega, I believe?
I believe so.
That was the first year we went. I didn't ever make it to the battleship, but I brought it with me. And I shot, not a whole lot, but some stuff. And throughout the day, I realized that Tim with Trendsetter was there. And so I shot him a message. And I was like, hey, man, if you see this truck, will you grab a photo of it? And I sent him a picture of Peachy. And he's like, yeah, I got you, blah, 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 blah. And that was kind of the end of it. And that night we got home and I edited the few little photos I'd taken and just threw them up on my personal profile. And he messaged me and he's like, why the hell did you need me to take a picture of your truck? And I was like, is it that bad? Like, I felt like he was upset I asked him to take a picture of the truck because it looked like shit or something. And he's like, no, dude, you shoot the same way as me. Like, we have the same style. You're getting all the same angles. Like, do you do this? And I was like, no.
I do now.
But apparently,
yeah.
And at that point, he'd only had Trendsetter off the ground for like 4 or 5 months. It was still relatively new. And he was like, do you want to shoot with me? And I was like, well, yeah. I mean, I don't go to a lot of stuff, though. I can go to more. And he's like, we'll figure all that out, man. We'll, when I need you to go somewhere out of the way, we'll work something out. We'll make sure it happens. And so we worked together for an entire year, having never met face to face. We never met each other at battle. We probably passed each other 6 or 7 times, but didn't realize it, and only got together at the 25 battle. And at that point, it was heavy, I mean, every single show I went to, especially here locally, Psycho's like, hey, can we do media? Can we do media? Can you, so on and so forth. Play Loud. Got, tried to get some good exposure for Play Loud because that's an awesome show and it definitely deserves as much exposure as it can get.
Yeah, we're looking forward to catching that one this year.
It's such a good show. It really is. They have so much cool stuff out there for the kids. It benefits the community. I think, didn't Kent end up like buying the property or something like that?
It's a public park.
But they weren't going to fix it after the storm hit and something. Either that or he just got everybody to go in there that was like his folks and clean it up so that it could continue being used. Something.
That's good.
He took some effort in to make sure it could continue.
We were supposed to make it up last year, and that was the start of the 54's temper tantrum of not wanting to run. And then it ran. It drove itself into the carport to get the motor pulled out of it.
That's cute.
After not running for like 6 months.
Sounds like Peachy.
And just...
Peachy do be a little finicky sometimes.
Well, it has a zip tie, or had a zip tie that held the distributor in time. And it broke one day, and we were leaving. So it was like, oh, that's what that was there for. Go grab me another zip tie. We'll fix it later. And I never fixed it. Then when we were pulling the motor out, I'm like, where's the zip tie at? Because it drove up. It drove into the carport. And I was like, it hasn't ran in 6 months. And it just all of a sudden started. What the hell? And then get it up there and pop the hood. And I'm looking and I'm like, zip tie's just hanging from the distributor. I'm like, motherfucker.
Sounds like the same thing that happened with Peachy. ICM went out. It sat for a couple months so I can get around trying to tinker with it here and there. Replaced ICM. It run. How long did it run? I think we got to a show or something like that. And got back and then quit running. Sat for a couple more months. Trying to find out when I put the ICM, put the connector in, it pushed out a wire in the back. And what maybe I bumped the distributor and it died. I'm like, crunk it back up, and it finally got in there and started playing with it. Been sitting. Well, we crunk it up for the show. Went down to Play Loud.
That was when we realized that rear seal was blown out.
It blew out on the way there. It's on the trailer.
On the trailer, yeah, not even driving.
We get just into Florida, and there's a pool of rear end fluid just
Like.
in the wheel, and clean it up, take it to the show, get back, and it wouldn't crank anymore. And come to find out that wire was poking out in the back. I finally got everything back in there, shoved it back in there. It's run fine ever since. Addie drives it daily to school, about 6 miles. It's like a 12-mile road. So she's burning up the road. And
She's burning up the brakes. That child is one of those, I'm going to stop 1.7 milliseconds before I need to be here. That's what we're doing.
It's not good with white rims.
No, it is not.
I'm not hard on the brakes, baby. That's brake dust right there, and it wasn't like that 2 weeks ago. We just cleaned it. No, you're hard on the brakes, baby.
Yeah.
She is. And she's just as hard on the throttle. And we're like, dude, can we chill? Just a little bit.
We were all there.
Her foot's in the pocketbook the whole time.
Which she has to start footing that bill.
She does. That's the
Oh.
worst part. She just hasn't figured it out yet.
Well, then she gets paid too much because I figured it out early. The more you throttle up, the more that gas goes.
She ain't figured it out, but as soon as she comes off the throttle, then she'll be like, wait, hold on, I only spent this much this week? Wait a second.
Yeah.
She'll get it eventually, one day.
So, the crew cab dually build.
Like, what do you even call this thing at this point, right?
Pennywise, right?
Penny stocks.
Penny stocks.
Yep, penny stocks.
Okay. So tell us about the build.
So the name was an accident. We were going down the road listening to Jordan Belfort, the rap song, and I've always been like a huge Wolf of Wall Street fan. It's just one of those movies that will never not be hilarious to watch, you know. And also that time frame, just that Art Deco, opulence, lush, everything that kind of was happening in that same era. And Addie looked at me, we're going down the road, and she's like, Mom, this is what you're doing. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you're penny stock in this truck. You are literally building it out of nothing. Like, half of what this thing is doesn't even exist. You're making it exist. That's exactly what he does. And I'm like, you have a point. So it caught penny stocks and, you know, trying to kind of replicate that kind of opulence, you know, lush, deep colors, interior. We've made a custom candy for the truck because I couldn't really find a color out there that was what was in my head. I don't know. For me, root beer brown used to be very like yellow, orange toned, and now it seems like every root beer that's out there has a lot of red tones in it. And I knew I wanted to do like the brown and copper, so I didn't feel like a red tone brown was going to work well against the copper. So I got with Leslie with Orion. She ended up doing some sponsor stuff with us, sent us out a ton of just straight candy concentrate and was like, just mix it up and let me know when you have it right and send me the formula and we'll get it. And it's all here. Every last bit of paint is sitting right under the counter for this truck. It's all here. It's all done. But we mixed the custom candy for it. We've got the powder coat colors picked out because the end goal is for every piece of this metal on this truck, exterior wise, to be powder coated in a translucent copper. So the whole grill surround, the grill itself, the headlight buckets, door handles, the wheels, bumper, like if it's metal, it'll be
on the wheels too.
Mm-hmm.
Some sick, nasty wheels too, by the way.
Yeah, the other one's right there. Because I only brought Psycho the one for him to use to kind of mock up everything and figure out how to make those step side flares work as dually fenders, because those are actually 67 to 72 long wheelbase step sides that I found on marketplaces for my Christmas gift year before last that we're going to be using as the dually flares on the truck. So
the end goal is mini 68-ish dually.
Basically, right? Yeah.
The crew cab dually that no one made.
Pretty much, yeah. I love C10s. I love the looks of them. And we were just trying to figure out what to do with it. You know, how do we make this thing different? How do we make it really cool? And I don't really remember who was the first one to be like C10. But it just kind of evolved and kept evolving. And then we settled on the year period that we want, which again, 68 to 72. The whole front clip is already mostly there. You've seen it. We're starting to seam everything together now. Sectioned everything down to fit. The body lines match up ridiculously well. I really didn't think it was going to go together that easily, but they really do line up really, really nicely. So, yeah, the end goal is basically a mini dually C10, and we're just trying to figure out how to make everything work as we go, because there's not anybody else who has done
template.
something even similar. Like, we're even trying to figure out, like, okay, how do we pancake this hood and make this work? Because right now the hood's like 6 inches taller than the windshield on the truck. How do we pancake this thing to where I can still have visibility when we start taking it down the road, and little odds and ends, and like, what do we use? Do we use C10 stuff? Do we use S10 stuff? It's really the worst kind of Frankenstein, because there's not been any groundwork done with it anywhere else. Nobody's ever really toyed with this combination other than like front clip. I've seen a little bit.
There was a dude at was that Rhythm and Ribs?
Yeah. Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been Rhythm and Ribs.
He had a C10 hood that was that he took out I think he took 3 inches out of the front of it to get it to slope down better, and it worked out good. Don't know who it was, so I can't give y'all any insight on it.
Yeah, because
But it was the blue truck. I think he made an extended cab out of.
Oh yeah, it was almost like that grabber blue.
Yeah.
That Ford's got out. I know that wasn't but that's the closest thing I can think of. Yeah, I got some coverage of that. That was a really clean truck in general, though. It was just slick. But I think
he's getting ready to redo it.
I know right now the whole front clip on this truck is actually going to end up being one piece, and then we're going to clamshell the hood back out of it. Like, we're going to go back and just cut an entirely new hood.
Yeah, you're
going
to have to.
Well, it's so heavy. He's worried about, like if we don't have like that front, I guess, valance, the nose of the C10, where your V and everything is, that if we don't have that attached to the fenders, attached to the bumper, like, is it really going to support itself long term? So that's all going to actually be one solid piece when it's all said and done, and we'll just cut a new hood out of it and clamshell it from there, kind of like access panel style is the idea.
Probably the only way to accomplish it. Because like I said, you're taking a lot of metal out, but you're adding a lot of metal, and it's 2 different eras of metal.
Yeah.
Because 60s metal is way different than late 90s metal.
Yeah, and I mean, that cab in and of the truck itself is a 2004, and so trying to smash together, it's been...
It's going to be dope when it gets done, though.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Every single day, we're like, wait, how do we do this? How do we make this part work? Like, right now, we're trying to figure out the step sides, because, you look up those step side trucks, and the actual step side sits about 2 to 3 inches off the ground. It doesn't go down to the bottom of the body line, and that's not what we want. That's just going to look goofy. So it's like, do we use these and build off of them, which I think is where we're at now, is we're just going to use those as like a base and then kind of extend what we need to and shape them to make them match and make a full-length flare that goes all the way down to the bottom of the body line, because I don't want it just sticking out and being 2-3 inches off the ground when the truck's laid out. That just feels goofy.
This is still a Frankenstein, so you build it the way you want to.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're going to have to add on to the flares that we have. They don't go all the way down to the bottom of the body. They sit about 2-3 inches above.
And that's what this done.
Yeah, so we're going to have to add some length at the bottom, change the shape up a little bit, because they have a different shape in the front and the rear, because they are a step side versus a dually flare.
Yeah.
So there's always something, it seems like. The inside's just as weirdly Frankenstein as the outside will be. Yeah, we've got a 50s Cadillac dash. We've got a Pontiac dash we're kind of piecing together.
It's sacrilegious to have a Cadillac dash in there at Psycho's house.
It was his idea. It's the one he's got hanging.
Wait till I get back home.
Like, he's got it hanging above the truck because he was like, we need the Cadillac dash with the wings.
Oh, wait till I get home. You suggested a Cadillac part, sir.
Well, initially
he must have been sick that day or something.
There's no telling. Initially, it was just the Pontiac dash because we decided we wanted to do like the 4-in-1 gauge, and I don't remember what this dash came out of off the top of my head. It was just literally another one of those things that was laying around the property somewhere, which you know exactly.
There's a couple parts laying around out there.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You go out there and it's just like, well, I think I need to find this, this, and this, and you take 4 steps and it's laying in front of you.
It's like the rear bumper on Peachy.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all went scavenging just to see what y'all could figure out. So, you know what? We could split this and put it together. Now you got a smooth bumper.
Yeah, because the rear bumper on Peachy is a G20 van bumper that we sectioned, rebent, filled in the little rivet holes that they have on it, and put on so that I would have a smooth rear bumper to go with the smooth work truck bumper. And it was on that G20
I've never
in the
even
yard.
Noticed to look hard enough at it. I'll have to look at it harder next time. So with Trendsetter and also Blacktop Collective, you get to go to a lot of cool shows. What is your must go to shows?
I After going to mini nats for the first time this year, that's definitely going to be something I want to go back to, and for more than just one day, because this year I kind of made a day trip out of it, which was a horrible idea. Let's just start there. Would not recommend, because by the time I got done just driving, it was like, oh, I need a nap, but I get there and there's, God, I have no idea how many trucks were there, because it wasn't even just in the show. Like, there's stuff just lined up in every single parking lot everywhere. As soon as you get into Maggie Valley, they spawn. It's like a spawn point. And I was just like overwhelmed. I'm walking to the fairgrounds initially, and just truck after truck after truck is passing, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I ever going to cover all this? Oh, the rear bumper.
Sorry, I'm derailing. I told him I'll try to talk you into that. At one
We
point.
are not lifting, Peachy. I'm going to need you to stop. I understand that you have your preference, but you are also a tall human being, and I have to struggle to get into our leveled F-150, so...
You got steps.
And I still struggle.
Me too.
Especially if he parks in a hole. Then it's really fun.
You ever see a fat guy fall in a lowered vehicle? We roll out.
When I bought my Dodge, it didn't have steps on it. And before I brought it home, it had steps on it. Because the ground was wet. And I have the vinyl floor. And I put a foot in it. And it shing! And I went under the truck.
My first experience with somewhat lowered vehicle was a 98 Mustang, and it wasn't maybe an inch or two. And my fat ass couldn't get. I can get in, getting out. You roll out on the ground, stand up. Yeah. Roll out on the ground, stand up.
Yeah. But once you get I drove the Lincoln home from Custom Culture. When we went to the NHRA kickoff thing, we were sitting in the car getting ready to leave, and somebody walked up and was like, how do you get over speed bumps? Psycho was like, Well, he did it higher than he ever drives the car. Well, then I needed to get out, so I opened the door, and now I felt like I'm in my truck. I about fell out, because normally, the Cadillac, before you get out, it's on the ground. So you open the door, the ground's right there. You just kind of, boop, there you. Same with his car. So I go to open the door, and I'm like, the fuck's the ground at? And then I look, and I'm like, this is the highest I've ever seen the car.
Monster truck.
I've thought about that. I was like, they've got on your phone, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, my fat ass would probably just get out, air it down, and then walk away.
There's a guy in the Villages that's got a 67 or 68 Lincoln Continental, and it's laid out on 22s, and I was like, he got rid of a C10 that was bagged for it, and I was like, man, no offense, but like, how do you get in and out of it? He goes, oh no, I have it on my phone. He goes, I hit it all the way up. I open the door, I get in, I hit ride height, it lowers to ride height, I drive it, I get where I'm going, I hit all the way up, I get out, I shut the door, and as I'm walking away, I hit slam. And I go, oh, I guess that's one way I use an air ride. We use it to get it up, but he's using it to get it back down so he can get in and out of it. I'm like, all right, that makes sense.
That's what I say. I've been between that, or at least putting valves where just open the door, pop it up real quick.
Yeah, I got to get my switches mounted in the Cadillac. I switched from I had level ride, and then I left. And Psycho calls me and he's like, your car's on the ground in the paint booth, and I need it out. And I went, yeah. There's a valet button. He's like, yeah, I'm hitting it. It's not doing anything. Like, oh yeah, engine-driven compressor. So plug your air line into the tank, and then hit the button. Oh, okay, now it lifted. Like, because the relay... No, at that time I had the 2 electric compressors. I hadn't wired in the engine-driven completely yet. And the relay was burning up. It wasn't staying... It would work when it wanted to. So he's like, it doesn't have air. Well, there's no gauge unless I have my phone. So he didn't know there was no air going into the tank. So he's hitting the button like crazy, and it ain't doing absolutely nothing. And I'm like, yeah, so now we fixed that. Now it has gauges. You can see that it's not working but now it works every time. So I don't know. Maybe I wasn't holding my tongue right when I wired it originally.
Yeah, I think the goal at this point is for this truck to be as mechanical and simple as physically possible. Like, we're doing manual valves. Like, I'm going to try to get my hands on, like, either one of the 4-plays or the, what's the 2-switch? It's got its own special name. I can't remember. Either one of the little Larry's setups, you know. Something simple. We've got, vacuum switches for the 700R to keep everything mechanical.
Happy. Yeah.
We're going to use that fuel tank. We just got a regulator to run on it to step it down to where it needs to be for the 305, because that truck initially had a 4.3 Vortec in it, I believe.
Either any of them would have had the fuel injection. So yeah, step it down to just a regular regulator.
Mm-hmm. So I mean,
because I had the opposite problem. I had to get a different regulator to step it up for the LS and the Cadillac.
So I think it's going to be really nice though, because when it's all said and done, I think right now we're only at 16 circuits to wire in the whole truck, if I'm not mistaken. Sure. Something like that. And so everything is going to be run standalone. Nothing will be, other than lights, obviously left and right side are going to run together, but front and rear I'm going to keep separate. Yeah. Everything will kind of stand alone. So if there's an issue, we don't have to dig it out of 18 different wires. It's just all...
Yeah, keep it simple, because a lot of times, and especially when you get into power windows and power door locks and the Cadillac windows, you push up to go down, down to go up.
That is weird.
It still has factory harness in it.
Yeah, no, we're gonna...
no clue, and I was like, no.
I still don't know how we're gonna swap to mechanical, because there wasn't ever a mechanical option in the 4-doors, so I'm not quite sure what...
For the windows, you probably have to keep them electric.
I would say that won't be nothing. You just run power to it.
Yeah.
I don't want them electric, though.
I mean, you can still, if you want to get real fancy, you can always do the little door, which one?
The retro.
the retro electric one, just up and down.
Yeah.
Make it look like it.
And honestly, that may very well be what we do, is use the crank style switches that look like the older crank windows and are just up downs.
Well, some of the 60s trucks had electric windows.
I just prefer everything be as simple as possible. The less failure points, the better off.
Yeah.
Things will be, ignition.
But there is something about and roll your windows down. Especially because you ain't never going to drive that truck with the windows up anyway.
This is fair. This is very fair. I mean, it's not even getting tin on it.
That's why Psycho screams at me that the windows are tinted in the Cadillac.
All I'm going to do is
it's
have
not like they're ever going to be up.
The UV film put on so that the seats aren't getting cooked, and that'll be it. Because I'm going to get Gary with Sinister Stitches to run the interior in the truck. We got a front seat, and it's honestly kind of funny because it wasn't even in that truck. I don't remember what it even came out of. I think it's a Nissan bench seat, but it's got the cutout in the center because it was a manual truck.
Those that come out of that Mazda.
Oh, yeah, it come out of a Mazda, but it's got the center cutout because it was a manual truck, and it's the perfect size to fit over the tunnel that is in the S10.
Perfect.
So that's...
Love when a plan comes together.
That's the front seat for it, and then we still have to track down a back seat, but...
we're still using the back seat that was in it.
Actually, we might still be just using
it's formed just right for you to open the doors and slide in, because they're cut. Those S10 seats are cut
at an angle, so you can get your
slide in and out because there ain't much room.
So I'm probably gonna have Gary change up the shape of the backrest a little bit to where it matches more with the Mazda seat in the front. But other than that, just bench seats, front and rear, comfortable. The notch, like I said, the cutout in the Mazda seat fits perfectly over the tunnel, and it was literally just, again, laying around.
See, that's where the electric windows are going to come in play better, because as a 16, 17, 18-year-old, that little Jetta that I had, trying to go down the road and roll up a back window, hanging across the back passenger. That I can do it. Damn, if it wasn't safe.
Just set the cruise control and hop back there.
Like the driver's side's fine. I can just let the seat back a little bit, roll it up. The back right, you're laid across the little console in between the seats. You know, looked like I had a wreck.
And now it's a bench
going
seat,
down the
so
road.
now you. So, what is a show or event that you've never been to that you would like to get out to?
So it's funny because we do all the media. Well, we do a lot of the media for it, but LST. I mean, Tim is there every year, and Texas is just really far away. Like it's not, but it is. And even once I get into Texas
It's still
is
far.
still far away.
Yeah.
You know, like he hit me up a couple of months ago, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go to the Northeast Mini Trucking Nationals with me?" And it's like up in, I don't know, it's way over there. And I'm like, no, I don't want to drive that far. It's like 25 hours, and that's just from you. You want me to drive to you first and then ride with you. Like, Texas is just far.
Where in Texas is he actually at?
Tim is out of Conroe.
Okay.
So he does LST, has been doing it, and honestly, I mean, I do a lot of the back end work for it. I go through and we do a lot of the photo work and watermarking and stuff like that on my side so that he can just be present at the show and I can just be sending him stuff back to put up throughout the show. But I would really like to actually get to that one in person instead of only seeing it through his lens, because that's all I got right now is, you know, granted, were there over 2,000 photos from last year? Yep. But it'd still be cool to be there.
And it's like, yes, photos do it a lot, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people in media itself. It's a double-edged sword, and we contribute to the double edge of it. With you no longer have to wait to see
Anything.
the unveil. You know, and because even a big name truck comes out, there's photos of it already. Yeah, that may be the first show he's bringing it to or she's bringing it to, but there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's...
I think the only unveiling I've seen that was actually kept low-key was probably Rowan with Snooki. Like, he was putting out teasers everywhere. Don't get me wrong.
But you could piece the truck together pretty close. You knew what you didn't see the total package, but you seen most of the stuff was out prior to him showing up. I'm talking, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s, where even into the 90s, where print media was your only source.
Oh, yeah.
So you had to go to Slamfest to see what these guys were bringing or what the new advancement was that no one else had yet. Mm-hmm. And I grew up, you know, Florida being at that time very heavy acrophobia. One of the big players of the mini truck world was right there in my hometown. And I remember his truck was absolutely beautiful. And day after Slamfest, they're cutting it back apart. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, it's got to go bigger next year or it doesn't matter. And I'm like, what? And he was the first truck on 20s. First S10 that laid 20s. And then he was the first S10 that laid 20s. All right, and we're back. Because, you know, media... technical difficulties. But the last thing I said was about Justin Smith with the orange S10 with acrophobia. And he's always chasing the... You know, you got to make it bigger. You got to make it better next year or you'll get passed by. And ended up you know, girls, life, college, all that stuff moved away. And truck didn't get shown for 3 or 4 years. And somebody ended up coming and buying it down the road. And there was so much shit done to the truck that they told the guy, like, hey, if you pull the motor out, come back and talk to us. Please don't cut anything because... the motor will come out without you cutting anything. There's just certain ways to get it out. and he ended up just taking a sawzall and cutting and destroying, because the whole engine bay was like clean shaved and everything looked nice, and you had to unbolt certain stuff in certain orders to get it all to come out, and he did not.
Mm-hmm.
So now the truck, the last time I seen the truck, it was cut into pieces, and
Just a discarded Lego project now.
yeah. And that was the first. That was the first truck I seen with. He had pink and black zebra interior, and I was like, "That's so cool." But at the time, that was, this would be late '90s, so that was the vibe.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, it still really is, especially with the revival of, what they're calling now retro, but realistically, it's just that 90s nostalgia, especially with, a lot of these print magazines coming back and swinging, Damian Davis and Revheads picking up mini trucking and trying to push it back out there. Really excited to see what they have going for that.
I wish them a bunch of luck, and I hope, me and Psycho were having this conversation when that first got announced, and I really hope it works, because you also have Custom Culture and Rotten Style are coming back as well. They actually did a 2-issue in the same issue, and that's not the way to do it, because it was a lot of money, because it's, you flip it one way, it's one magazine, you flip it over and it's another magazine.
I mean, that's dope, but I can see why it wouldn't be. Of money.
And I just don't, which I think Damien said something, he's only going to sell it like pre-sale and at shows.
Yeah, that's how he's setting up, is he's like partnering with vendors that are going to be at shows all over the nation, and so there won't be a subscription model with the new magazine, is my understanding. It'll just be pre-sales that you can obviously pre-order the issue before it releases, and then he'll have 5,000 copies that go to all these shows, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's going to, I think that's going to be the compromise, is because you just can't, I mean, Psycho tried to do the magazine and you get a shit ton of copies and they don't sell, and that's a lot of money that's wasted. And it's very easy because everyone, all the way down to little kids now, have the internet in their hand, their pocket, so it's really easy to know what's going on, not necessarily in your little circle, without waiting on a magazine to come in.
Well, but the big thing is with the print, with the way it's being structured now, to me, is that you're not so much waiting to see the truck as you're waiting to see certain photographers work with the truck, because some of the names that are shooting for these now have reputations for being innovators, super artistic, fantastic photographers in general, and like there are people shooting with them that people sit there and wait on their coverage to roll out. It's not just show coverage, it's feature work that's just super dope to look at, and I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I mean, if you appreciate that, then there's value in it.
And I hope it sticks around, because I remember, I've never had it, but I remember hearing people talk of the first time, even if their car's in the background, the first time their car made it in a magazine, or the first time, there's a lot of people, and it's, again, not recognition as of the trophies, but it's just like somebody else thought your stuff was cool enough to take a picture of it.
Oh yeah.
And
on the other side of that, that is realistically one of the end goals for any photographers that are working in this field. Like, if you're in the scene, the best thing that can happen to you is end up in mini trucking or street trucks or East Coast Styles or any one of these print features that's still out there, having them be like, hey, your work is worth printing and putting into thousands of people's hands. There's not a compliment that's really any higher than that.
Well, and then also on the show promoter side, with tying back into the photography, when you said, "Oh, I'm coming to come shoot the hangout for Trendsetter," I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, because it means something that it's not just Ashley taking photos of our show or we had Mike Rio, who was a guest on the podcast, and offered to come shoot it. That's cool, and I love the photos he took. But Ashley didn't take many photos that day. But even y'all's too. Y'all were at the same show. And your photos were completely different. All right, well, before we get out of here, what is one piece of advice that you would give either someone getting into the car culture or somebody or a female in the space trying to grow bigger, or on the photography side, or a combination of all three?
Holy shit. That was a loaded question. Let's just start there. Like, I'm gonna need you to pick a direction. That went all of them.
It's your piece of advice. So if you would you like which way do you want to go? Do you want somebody that's trying to get into the car culture, or specifically a female, or somebody that's looking to get into the photography side?
Honestly, it's almost the same across the board, realistically, even though it's three very different directions. And I mean, what it's really going to boil down to is build something for you, whether you're building a brand that is for yourself, whether you're building a reputation for yourself, or you're building a truck for yourself. Like, build what you want people to see. I built Blacktop because it's what I want people to see. Yeah, I worked really, really hard to make it relatively reasonably sized pretty quickly. I put in a lot of back end work to really put myself out there and push it. Same with the truck. You know, we're doing things that may have been done before. I haven't seen it to this extent, if it has, and it's just because it's what I want to put out there. I mean, if you're not going to put out yourself, what's the point? Like,
yeah, put your best foot or best appearance first, and don't necessarily worry about what anybody else has to say. Because at the end of the day, it's your car, it's your brand. You do what you want with it.
I mean, it's your money, it's your time. You're investing in something, whether it's, you know, like I said, your own reputation in the community, your reputation of your brand in the community, or your build in the community. It's your investment.
Yes.
So make it what you want it to be, because it's, you know, if you build it, they will come. It might not be exactly who you expected to show up, but people will show up.
That's something that we've had to learn here lately, is the ones that you expect to come are usually not the ones that are your biggest support.
Oh yeah,
usually
absolutely.
The ones that you're like, oh yeah, like I know him sort of. And I've jokingly said it, like, I have a whole bunch of friends that I've never physically met.
Yeah, like, I mean, it absolutely. Like, I run into people at shows and they're like, hey, and I'm like, who are you? Because I get, you know, I guarantee we've had a conversation, or you've commented on a photo I've taken of your truck or something. But I'm not really going to say that I'm like out of touch at shows, but I really am, because once you're in a viewfinder like that and you're trying to get every single truck and every single moment and every single thing that's happening, like, it's hard to really see the full picture of what's happening around you. And so I'll miss people trying to talk to me because I'm locked in on something, or, you know.
Well, and it's even, I don't take, you know, I'm not the photo. If you see a photo on our page that we posted, I can 99% say that it was not me that took it. Especially if it looks good. That'd be Ashley. If it's a photo from me, it's usually a selfie, or you're going to tell it was taken on my iPhone. Because I don't, you know, her camera, I get completely lost in everything. And people come up and, oh yeah, and they'll mention something that's on the podcast. I love every single one of y'all. But y'all know way more about my life than I do about y'all's. And y'all get an insider, you know, especially the first episode of every month is me and Ashley kind of going through what we did. And y'all know the little quirks and the jokes and the stuff like that. And it is still mind-blowing, the people that listen. Because, again, I mean, this one we're kicking it old school. I'm sitting at a kitchen table, like, with some wireless microphones and we're sending it. Like this is episode 1 all over again. But, you know, the trip that it took to California, the guy walking up and going, "Hey man, have a good road trip." I'm like, he listened. I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, man." Like, and then, "Hey, can you sell my hat?" "Yeah." "Oh, that's weird, but yeah, I mean."
Yeah, starting to get that exposure is like, I was in an absolute tizzy. Like, I know I sent him to Psycho. I'm pretty sure I sent him to you. You know, when Craig started using my photos to promote Battle in Bama this year, like, I was taking screenshots of that and sending it to everybody. I'm like, look, somebody else sees it.
Well, and also it back to it ties back into the participation trophy stuff. Is you don't need the recognition, but it's cool when somebody recognizes what you're doing is cool. Or you have a cool ride, or a cool photo. I mean, a lot of times, I was just having this conversation with Psycho about the Cadillac. I was like, I was so thankful there's not one picture of the Cadillac that looks like shit. And trust me, y'all could have found some stuff, but every single person took a picture of it where the black just looks black and the gold roof is doing its thing.
Well, and I mean, you know, Hunter said it the other day, because I was honestly a little whiny because there hasn't been much going on here locally recently. There's been a lot of inclement weather. We've been rained out of a lot of stuff, and I haven't been able to shoot. And I was like, I just want to shoot something, and I don't have anything. And he's like, well, just take your daily and shoot. I'm like, but it's just a daily. It's boring. Like, it's not cool. And he's like, that's the whole point, right? You're supposed to make stuff look cool. That's what photography is like influencing what other people see. Granted, I did not do that day, but it was a good suggestion. I just got a little lazy after that.
It happens. Well, appreciate you coming on, and look forward to catching the Battle in Bama show coverage. That's your next show, right?
I'll be at Nopi Nationals next weekend.
Right, Nopi, and
then we have Battle in Bama, Play Loud, Slam Fest are kind of like the major notches that are coming in right now.
Well, hell yeah. Where can everybody find you?
Blacktop Collective on Facebook and TikTok. The Trendsetter coverage is all under Trendsetter Worldwide on Facebook and TikTok as well. I want to say both handles are also on Instagram. I can't remember. I'm not super active on Insta. It's just not my thing. But Facebook and TikTok.
A photographer that's not on the app that's for photos.
There's a million other ones, though, and it's an oversaturated space, and I don't really like that they crop photos a certain way when you upload them, and I lose a lot of what I've photographed in the process, so I don't really like to post on Insta because it forces me to change the aspect ratios of the images to upload them right. Just not a fan.
Yeah. Okay. Just a little pic.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I mean, it is funny. That's
ironic.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. But at the same time, you know, people are active where they are, and it seems like Insta is kind of starting to become a little bit of a thing of the past. And so I stay where people interact with my content, and that's where I see it at.
Hell yeah. Well, till next time, guys. Get out and drive your shit. Later.